Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Rich for WELSHYTECH, and today we have something from Thermaltake. This is the LA240 ARGB Sync. Is it worth it? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so this is the Thermaltake LA240. It's an ARGB AIO. So let's open this up now, have a look, and then we'll get through the specs and so forth. So, first of all, we get a product warranty policy. Then we get the actual instructions. Now you can scan that for an instruction guide. This is it's done very well, especially for AMD. Then you've got Intel installation. Very cool. Oh, and it's on the back as well. Tells you how to connect the ARGB. That's cool. Have a look at the accessories right here. Okay, so this has all your LJ 1851, 1700s, got your AMD M4, all those brackets, but there. And then, of course, this one is a 240, so let's get this out now and then we'll have a look. Okay, so something I need to do say, this isn't a screen, this is just a top cover, like that, comes off a magnet. It's just basically for ARGB illumination through it, because there's no cable to actually connect it. And these are standard, like 4-pin awesome, and then the standard ARGB. Wow, that's a very thick RGB header. Wow. So we got the fans, but these are pre-installed. A lot of brands are actually starting to do that, which is fantastic. The cables, it's a ARGB by here and a 4-pin, which is fantastic. I wish they had they do have a daisy chain on here, which is cool, and they do have one on that as well. That's awesome. Right, let's get into some of the specs and see what the pump speeds are, the fans, and so forth. Okay, so when it comes to the overall socket compatibility, it does support LJ 2066, 2011-3, 2011, 1851, 1700, 1200, 1156, 1155, wireless going back, 1151, 1150, AM5 and AM4. Okay, now the base plate by here, that is copper, right by there. Now the pump speed, which will be by here, the pump speed is between 1500 and 2500 RPM. The rated voltage is 12 volt and 5 volt. The rated current is 0.35 amps and 0.3A. The power input is 4.2 watts and 1.44 watts. Now the connector is a 2510 4-pin ARGB as well as a 3-pin. Now as for the dimensions, of course, the fans. Now the dimensions of the fans, they are 120 by 120 by 25 standard ARGB fan in 2025. Fan speed is between 600 and 2500 RPM, which isn't bad. The noise decibel is 35.7 decibels. The rated voltage is between it is 12 and 5 volt. The current is 0.38 amps and 0.28 amps. That's one fan. And then of course then the power output then is 4.56 and 1.4. Now as for the airflow, they do say on the specifications that the airflow is 84.58 CFM, and the start pressure is a 3.2mm H2O. And then obviously the connector then is a 2510 4-pin. The dimensions of the radiator are it is 277 by 120 by 27, that being the thickness. It's aluminium. Length is 350. That's a tube length, sorry, 350. And then of course it's got a rubber. So let's get this on the test bench now and see how good this performs, shall we? Okay, so when it comes to the installation, it's actually pretty straightforward. So, first of all, you get these brackets. Now, these will be for AMD specifically. So, what you want to do, place these, that side, like that. Then, you get 4 screws, like this. So, you take the screws, get a magnetic screwdriver, which will help, trust me. Then you do that 4 times, and then it's actually installed, that part. Now with that installed, both brackets are actually tightened down. You don't have to screw them down really tight, just tighten them until they stop. And then next now will be thermal paste, then we'll get to the actual block installation. Okay, so that's the thermal paste done. Now what I want you to do is grab the actual block here. Now these brackets on here are already pre-installed, so they'll work for both brackets, for AMD as well as Intel. So what we want to do is place it down like this. Now push it down just so it doesn't move. And then once it's done, you leave it sit there. Then you're going to get these, which are the screw down for the nuts. Now what you want to do is put one down one side first, and we're going to do a crisscross pattern, so it will have 4 points of contact. I actually prefer this type of insulation because it does actually give you even spread of the thermal paste, and it does actually help with thermals because you get an even spread on all four corners instead of a traditional insulation. When it comes to an AIO, they usually only use 2 points of contact, which generally isn't the best. I prefer 4 points of contact. So what you want to do is a crisscross. So what you want to do is start with the screw you put down first. You start down a little bit, then like this, like that. Then you start off with this one by here. That's that part. Now let's get to the cables and how you connect ARGB as well as the PWM connectors. Okay, so the connectors you're actually seeing by here, now they are PWM. Of course, the header you're going to want for like the fans is going to be for the CPU, and then of course then you're going to want one for the AIO. But first of all, I'm going to show you the ARGB connector. Now this is the header here. It's a 3-pin, and generally will have a 5-volt LED underneath it. Some of them will say RGB, some of them will just say LED under them. But what I want you to do is the RGB connectors for the fans as well as the block housing, this one is daisy chainable. Both sides are. So if you've only got like one header, you can daisy chain it together, and all you do really is put it down like this. Make sure you are actually lining up the correct pins because you do not want to damage it. How do I know? Because this happened to me in the past. So you want to plug it in like this. Now once it's in, all you do is push down like that, and it will sit just like that. Now let's get on to the PWM headers. Okay, so when it comes to like the CPU header as well as the AIO pump header, now this is going to be dependent on your motherboard. Some of them aren't right next to each other, some of them are actually separate, but generally the CPU header is generally located near the CPU socket, usually around this by here, around this area, or right above there. So what I want you to do is grab the CPU or the fan header, which is a 4-pin. You want to connect this up first. So it only lines up one way. As you can see, the moulding's actually attached for one way. So what you want to do is put it down here for the fans. Now this will be for the CPU header will be for directly for the fans, so you can control it through the BIOS, or you can actually download fan control and use it that way. So let me get this connected, and then I'll show you the AIO pump header. Right, so fan header by there, that's for the PWM. Now this one by here, if it'll focus, this one is for the AIO. Now like I did say, the AIO headers are generally, it all depends on what motherboard you get. Some are located next to the CPU header, but some of them aren't. So like this one, it is located, so exactly the same process as the CPU cooler header, it's only keyed one way. So you want to go like this, put it down just like that, and then make sure, just push it down. Once it's connected, it's all done. That's it for the installation. This is the LA240 from Thermaltake. This is the fans of 50%. They aren't noisy, but you can't hear them. Same thing, but 100%. Wow, these are louder 100%. Okay, so when it comes to the overall test system, it is my AM5 platform. It's a Ryzen 9 7900. It's got 32 gigs of DDR5. It's got a Sapphire B850 motherboard. It's got an RX 7800 XT. It's got a 1000 watt cooling power supply, as well. It's housed in the Be-Quiet shadow-based 800 FX case. So when it comes to the actual testing, now I've done 50 and 100% fan speed, and also my normal test runs are Cinebench R23, Blender Pavilion, Blender Classroom, as well as 3D Mark CPU test. So for 50%, the CPU power draw high was 180 watts with a low at 170, and the CPU clocks were high at 5.4 and low at 5. Now, Cinebench R23, the idles were 32 with a max of 84 Celsius. Blender Pavilion idles 32 with a max of 82. Blender Classroom idles 32 with a max of 82, and 3D Mark CPU test idles 32 with a max of 69 Celsius. Now, for the 100% fan speed, the power draw was, for high, was exactly the same at 180 watts, but the low was actually 5 watts higher. It was at 175 watts. The CPU clocks, however, were high at 5.4 and they were low at 5.1, so you are actually gaining performance there. So for Cinebench R23, the idles were 33 at idle with a max of 82 Celsius. Blender Pavilion were idles at 33 with a max of 79. Blender Classroom idles 33 with a max of 79, and 3D Mark CPU test idles 33 with a max of 67 Celsius. Okay, so let's start off with the things I actually like about the product. Now, first of all, for a 240, it performed very, very well. Now, I don't have any AIOs in the 240 range to actually compare, because believe it or not, I don't get a lot of 240s around, except for maybe one from Valkyrie. That was months ago, so, you know, I don't really get 240s. Rarely I do. I mainly get 360s. Now, I like the RGB illumination. I like the overall cable management. It's very easy to cable manage. I like the mounting mechanism. I'm all for the 4-point mechanism for mounting, because it does give you equal pressure on the CPU, and it does help with thermal paste applications, because it will spread the thermal paste more equally. Now, things I'm not exactly fond of. I'm not a big fan of the overall, pardon the pun, the fans. They are very loud at 100%, but to be fair, they do state that on the box it's 35.7 decibels, but still, they're very loud at 100%. But then again, you don't have to run it at 100%. You can always run it at 50, because it does perform very well at 50% as well. Now, when it comes to the pricing, at this current moment on scan.co.uk, it is at £69. £69.98. Now, whether you want to buy that or not, or if this is something you're looking for on the 240, then that's going to be completely up to you. I will leave links down below to the Thermaltake website, as well as the scan link, so I'll get a kickback if you do decide to purchase it. I like the AIO. I think it's a good AIO. Whether you buy that or not, that's up to you completely. If you disagree with my opinion, that's totally fair. If you agree, then that's fine as well. But I'd like to say a big thank you to Thermaltake for sending this out for review. Now, I do have a power supply here as well. It's the Snow Edition, and it is a 750 watt. Now, I do have loads of stuff coming back, also coming as well on Saturday. I've got the Aqua Elite version 6, which is in the background, but I'll give you as well another review. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, as always. I hope you guys have a fantastic week and weekend ahead of you. This is Rich for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.